Alright, this is John Cole with OKRaw.com to another exciting episode for you. In this episode, I'm going to share with you guys my favorite fruits, some of them anyways, in the world, and how you may not be able to find these, but you guys can find a more amazing alternative that actually will be lower in cost. Well, for one of these guys anyways. Here we have some cool fruits. This is actually known as a durian. You can see the spikes on there. This could be like a medieval weapon. This could really hurt you if it fell on you. This is the durian. This one's from Thailand, Monthong variety. And over here we got the almighty jackfruit. I love jackfruit way more than I do durian, especially when you guys hear about the price. Luckily, I live in a city where both these are available at this time, which is January, when it's a fruit dry spell. And you mostly have apples, bananas, and citrus, which I'm not a super huge fan of, so I'm so glad I was able to find the jackfruit. The jackfruit, this fruit here, it was $1.19 a pound, and this fruit was about 22 bucks right here. Looks pretty ripe to me, nice and soft. Hopefully it'll taste pretty good. Okay, over on this side we got the almighty durian. This is extremely rare to find, and I was really impressed I could actually find one to buy at all that's fresh. Normally I bought them in like a plastic where they've been actually air shipped in plastic, fresh, but it was not ripe. Check my IG for information on that. But at a local market, the Ranch 99 market, I was able to find a fresh durian. Now this guy was pricey, guys. It was $11.99 a pound, and this guy was 66 bucks. So you guys do the math. I personally would rather have like 3 of these guys, but I can only find one ripe one, instead of one of these. But the reason for this episode today is because I want to share with you guys, even if you're not able to find fresh durian near you, which most parts of the country, or even the world, you can't, you may be able to find the frozen durian, that has been frozen. But to me, there's a big difference between frozen and fresh, and that stuff might run, I don't know, about $5 a pound. But even better than that, for right now, limited time till it runs out, you guys could get something even better, in my opinion, that's not going to expire like a fresh durian. Like this guy, if I don't eat it pretty soon, it's going to go molded, it's going to go bad. And actually, maybe we'll open this up. You guys can see it's actually already splitting on me. And we're going to go ahead and open this baby up on the camera here for you guys. You can see it's already splitting, so we're just going to go ahead and open the seam up. Look at that. Fruit goodness. Oh my God, this smells so good. I think it's going to be super ripe. All right, so there's one nice pod, and we got a little bit of dud pods. But we'll talk more about the durian, and I'll try it on camera for you guys in a minute. But even if you guys can't find the fresh one, I'll show you guys how you can get actually the second best thing after fresh. So the next best thing after fresh durian is freeze-dried durian. Now if I was over in Asia or Chiang Mai or some crazy Southeast Asia country, I'd probably love the fresh durian because I'd be able to actually get good stuff that's actually ripe. But here in the States, it is extremely difficult to get actually good durian that's actually fresh and ripe, right? And so I would hate to have you guys buy durian and have it not be ripe, have it be crunchy, chewy. Wow, this one's actually quite soft. So I'm really looking forward to eating that after this episode. So the way you can ensure you get the best durian is not actually even to get it fresh. Maybe if it's frozen, it might be picked when it's ripe and then frozen. But sometimes I've gotten frozen durians that actually aren't so great. So that's a better way. But the problem with frozen durian is once you thaw it out, you lose the texture, you lose really some of the flavor. It's kind of like you get a banana, a ripe banana, you freeze it, then you thaw it, and then you try to eat it. That's kind of like how eating a frozen durian is to me. You really kind of lose the delicate, essence and flavor and texture of the fruit because it's basically now been frozen and thawed out. So instead of that, actually, I prefer this. And what this is, you guys can see the label, but it says FD Durian Small Size 1 kg. So this is from Thailand. This is actually freeze-dried durian. I buy it in 1 kilo bags, and this is available right now, but not for long, because after this video hits, the seller that's selling this stuff is going to run out. I will put a link down below. It's actually to matt-monarch.com. Me and Matt go way back. I've had lots of stories, good and bad, with Matt. But I will say this. I appreciate Matt because he is importing the durian in 1 kilo bags like nobody else in America is. Most people are selling the durian, smell it in small bags, and it's really expensive. It can be over $80 to $100 per pound if you buy it that way, like on Amazon. Matt's offering it for less with my coupon code that I'll show you guys. It's basically $30 a pound, which is actually one of the cheapest freeze-dried fruits you could get. Plus, it's also the rarest, so it'll give you the opportunity to try it. Plus, the other thing I like, actually even better than the fresh fruit, which, has its own texture and complexity, this stuff is actually even crunchy. So let's go ahead and pull this out of the bag and show you guys what it looks like. All right, so most important thing, freeze-dried foods can store up to 25 years. This one probably wasn't packed optimally, and I don't know if they have an oxygen absorber in there. So I'd maybe say at least 5 years if you want to repack yourself proper in an oxygen absorber, remove the excess air, and put a thicker Mylar bag on it. You could probably easily get 10 years out of it, which is amazing. So this could be literally, this is like astronaut food, guys. Like freeze-dried food is astronaut food. So we're just going to go ahead and cut it open. The most important thing is once you cut this open, you want to eat it or reseal it, especially if you live in like a humid place like Florida. If you leave this bag open, these fruits will rehydrate because the freeze-drying process can remove basically 98 to 99% moisture, and that's why it can store so long. So we're just going to go ahead and pour these out. Oh yeah, it's got an oxygen absorber in there. I don't know how good quality it is. But yeah, there's some freeze-dried durian. Totally crazy. So what happens is, over in Thailand, when these guys are ripe, they take these, they cut them up into pieces, and they basically put it in the freeze dryer, and you could tell, I could see the texture on that, and they basically freeze dry it. I've gotten some freeze dried durian, because I bought lots of freeze dried durian in my day, trust me. It's one of my binge foods, and that's actually how I've been gaining weight lately, because I'll just come home and eat freeze dried durian when I'm hungry, and this is a way you guys could literally seriously pack on the calories, because hey, fresh durian is great, it's already high in calories because it has a good fat percentage. But when you remove the water, you concentrate it, so you intensify the flavors. It's also crunchy when you eat it, and it is so easy to overeat. So if you guys have like overeating issues, maybe don't get this stuff. But if you want to gain some weight, this is good for you because it will definitely put some weight on you because it's high, fast calories, especially if you're not burning them, all right? So yeah, this is the freeze-dried durian, and this is the fresh durian right here. Now, some of you guys might not be able to get Matt's freeze-dried durian while he has it in stock, so I'm going to share with you guys some alternatives for you guys. And those alternatives are simply at your local Trader Joe's, right? This is some freeze-dried food available at Trader Joe's, and actually, through Matt, his freeze-dried durian is actually less expensive than some of this freeze-dried fruit from Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's has a bunch of different freeze-dried fruit. You can get freeze-dried fruit at like Whole Paycheck and whatnot and other health food stores, but they can be quite spendy and quite costly. So that's why I recommend going to Trader Joe's for their freeze-dried fruit. And they have a bunch of different kinds, but most of them I won't eat because they're not organic. That being said, the berries, the freeze-dried berries at Trader Joe's are organic. This is actually $3.99, and for that you get 1.2 ounces of freeze-dried berries. So let's go ahead and open this up and show you guys what this looks like. This is 1.2 ounces, and this is $3.99. I really have a cool episode that I did many years ago. Down below, put a link, and it's actually basically raw cereal where I basically combined freeze-dried fruit and I made basically fresh coconut milk, which is completely amazing. Last freeze-dried fruit I like is the freeze-dried mango from Trader Joe's. This stuff is actually less expensive. This is actually $3.29, and it's 1.7 ounces, whereas these guys are $3.99 for 1.2 ounces. So it's actually quite spendy. But let's go ahead and open this guy's up. This guy is really cool. They look like little chips, like little French fries. These guys are so good. I mean, if I had to choose between these three, durian, mango, and berries, well, for the taste and flavor, I'm going to go for the freeze-dried durian every single time. For the nutrition quality, if you're trying to eat as nutrient-dense as possible, which is one of my goals, I'm going to go for the berries every single time. Less calories than the other two, not quite as sweet. And if you just kind of want to go for just like, plain Jane, but still good, and you can't get the durian, go for the mangoes. So here's how the numbers work out for those of you guys that are spendthrifts. I'm a spendthrift, but I still buy my freeze-dried durian. With my coupon code that I'll provide to you guys, the durian is basically $69.70 per kilo, which is 2.2 pounds, which works out to be about $31.68 per pound. Now that may sound like a lot of money, but this durian that I bought right here was $11.99 per pound, and look at this. Most of this durian that I bought for $11 a pound is not edible because it is actually the shell, although my bacteria and microbes will eat it when it goes in my compost pile. I'm sure they will appreciate some tropical fruit peels. The berries, they reach an all-time high based on the $3.99 at 1.2 ounces, $53.20 per pound, so that's actually quite expensive. And if you just get the freeze-dried mango, that stuff runs about $30.96 a pound based on the $3.29 price and the 1.7 ounces. And actually, I want to comment too, like, for these strawberries, I mean, I've experienced lots of freeze-dried fruit in my time. These strawberries, like, don't look super, like, optimal. Neither do these berries. Like, they just kind of look, I don't know, kind of messed up. And then same thing with the mangoes. Like, these mangoes, I don't know, they don't look quite as clean or as neat as they should be. They look a little bit overly processed, but they are 100% fruit. Whereas this freeze-dried durian does look pretty solid, man. I mean, this stuff looks pretty good to me. The other thing is I bought freeze-dried durian on eBay when Matt was out, and I bought like basically durian, I think it was pureed and then freeze-dried and cut into symmetrical blocks. And I'm like, what else is in here? But I really like Matt stuff because it's basically, it might be smaller pieces instead of the big pieces, so it's more economy. But that's all right because that's one of the reasons why it's cheaper. So I would encourage you guys to support Matt so he continues to bring in the freeze-dried durian, because it is actually one of the best snack foods on the entire planet if you're raw vegan or if you're just into eating lots of fruit. Peace, love, and fruit, guys. Chris Kendall Raw Advantage. So before I try the fresh durian and the freeze-dried durian and ruin my dinner, I want to show you guys some of the benefits of the freeze-drying. So number one, freeze-drying keeps way more flavor than dehydration, right? It also keeps the nice texture. I mean, here's these mangoes. I mean, we could do this to any of the fruit. We could take this and listen carefully. You can hear that snap. These guys, it's me harder to crack one of these durians because it's smaller, but listen. These guys are basically have 98 to 99% of the water removed, so they're going to store long, but also they're crunchy. This is very important. Texture is very important on a raw foods diet. You know, normally if you want crunch, you got to eat some carrot sticks or some jicama chips or something like that. But this is crunchy to the next level, aside from Abiba's crazy crackers, a crazy crackulator. Those are dehydrated. Now, dehydrated foods can only remove up to 70 to 90% of the water content. So they're going to be a lot more flippy, a lot more floppy, a lot more chewy. Normally, it's very difficult to get freeze-dried jackfruit, especially good freeze-dried jackfruit. Normally, when they freeze-dry jackfruit that I bought from Trade and Commerce, they freeze-dry it when they're not exactly ripe and they don't taste so good. Most jackfruit that you will buy will be dehydrated, and then it's chewy and it loses lots of the flavor, and you know, you don't have that nice crunchy texture. Now, the other reason why I love freeze-dried fruit and other foods is because it retains more nutrients. Freeze-dried food is at least 30% more nutritious than dehydrated foods. And, you know, you're thinking, why, John? It's all dried. It's not good. It's dried. You know, hey, I'm going to always say freshest is bestest, but there's a place for freeze-dried foods. If you're camping and you're hiking and you want to take something that's light, that's high calorie, man, this is the best stuff. Maybe aside from some dates and nuts. But actually, dates have higher water content than this, so this will be lower weight and easier to pack and carry, and you could pack in more of it. But the freeze-dried foods are at least 30% more nutritious, and that's because it's how it is made, all right? Think about it. How does a dehydrator make? Many of you guys own dehydrators, right? Well, you have a heating element and a fan. The heating element comes on, and it could easily go over 110, 115, 118 degrees, whatever you think the raw food magic number is, and then they basically blow hot air across it. So I don't know about you, but when you cut open an apple, and you hold it out the window and you're driving 55 miles an hour on the freeway, which I've never done, it'll turn brown faster because you're basically bombarding with air when you're using a high-speed juicer or high-speed blender such as a Vitamix, right? You're bombarding those foods with air particles. You're lowering nutrition content, especially those antioxidant nutrients, as well as polyphenols that are so valuable for us to include. The way freeze drying works is first they freeze the food, right? Once they freeze it, all the nutrition is locked in the freezing process, and then they basically sublimate, so they carefully remove the excess moisture off the food while under a vacuum at significantly lower temperatures than dehydration occurs. So because it's done under a vacuum without the oxygen, it's similar to like vacuum blending versus traditional blending. Watch my videos for that if you're not familiar with it. And you keep up to 30% more nutrition. So what does this mean in the end? It means crunchier flavor and more nutrition, which means better taste, because when you taste things, you're tasting the nutrients, the phytochemicals, the polyphenols, antioxidants in the foods. And if something is more tasty and good, it is more nutritious, and that's why simply I should just eat freeze-dried durian even instead of fresh when I could get it, plus the cost difference. You don't understand that although this is like $31.68 a pound, this cost me $12 a pound. This is much more concentrated. So really, if you had to expand this, because only the water's removed, you would have a lot more fresh durian here for the price. So here, let's go ahead and read off this bag. The eastern region of Thailand grows some of the sweetest, most flavorful mango in the world. That mango, which is used for freeze-dried product on this package, is freeze-dried in the growing region and retains its perfect flavor when processed in this manner. To make 1.7 ounces contained in this bag, over 10 ounces of perfectly ripe, fresh cut mango are freeze-dried. So literally 1.7 to 10 ounces. So with the mangoes anyways, it took basically 10 ounces of fresh mango to get 1.7 ounces of the freeze-dried mango. So if you use the same ratio, which is about 5.5 multiplier, we would divide the price of $31.68 divided by 5.5, because literally it took 5 times or 5.5 times as much durian fresh to get it into the freeze-dried state. So what does that mean? That means basically our cost overall, if we were buying fresh, because this is concentrated fresh durian, it would cost about $5.50, maybe $6, right, per pound. So that's literally half the price of the fresh one, plus you got all the crunch, plus it stores, you could pack it, and you could eat it at a later date, unlike the fresh, that will spoil and go bad on you. Furthermore, I didn't tell you guys, and I'm not going to do in this episode because I hate ruining my freeze-dried food like this, but you could just basically put this in water under a vacuum, or just in water alone, let it sit for a while, and this will actually rehydrate, and the texture will be very similar to the fresh. Not exactly the same as the fresh, but very similar to the fresh with all the flavor fresh would have. I don't like to spoil my freeze-dried stuff by making it a soggy texture. I just like to eat it fresh with the crunch and all. Alright? So yeah, so that way, so for me personally, I would once again, freeze-dried durian in fresh equivalent is about $5.50 to $6 per pound, which actually if you buy a frozen durian, it's $5 a pound, and then once again you got the deal with the shell that you're not eating, so that would make actually freeze-dried durian even cheaper than the frozen, and actually significantly cheaper than the fresh stuff if you live here in the States. Now if you're over in Southeast Asia, don't mess with freeze-dried durian. You guys got the fresh stuff, alright? So with that, I'm going to go ahead and taste the fresh and the freeze-dried. Let's see, what should I taste first? You choose. Fresh or freeze-dried? Yell it out. Alright, yeah, I heard fresh somewhere. So let's go ahead and try the fresh one first. We're going to take this pod out. It's been a while since I had fresh durian. I think I had it like last year, or the year before actually, when I was visiting Hawaii. I was visiting Kauai. And we're going to go ahead and try this fresh durian. Man, that's a good one. I love the texture of this, man. This is not like frozen, thawed out durian. It's like fresh durian. Not as good as stuff I had in Kauai. But man, it's like for those of you guys that never had it before, it's like eating like it's like the good stuff is like really like pudding, and then you got more fibers near the seed. Man, I gotta say, this is a solid durian. I gotta pat myself on the back for picking this good one, because I had about 4 or 5 of them at the store. And like, this is my baby. We got a nice golden color. It's already starting to split. This is the one I'm buying, and I did, and it's really great. That being said, I got to eat it pretty quick. It'll go bad. So I know what that tasted like. Now we're going to go ahead and try the freeze-dried durian for you. This is really cool. I mean, you can see the pods that they just cut up into little pieces, and listen to this. Oh my God, this stuff's insane. Alright, I've never done this test before where I did freeze-dried versus fresh, and I did it on camera for you guys. I've had them at separate times. But what I will say is this. You lose some of the delicacy of the durian. Straight up. You lose some of the delicacy, because some of the delicacy is in the texture. It's in like the mild flavor overtones. If you guys have had durian, you guys will know what I'm talking about. With the freeze-dried, it just hits you like boom. This stuff is sweet, and this stuff you get that durian flavor in your mouth, and it's not quite as connoisseur-ish, but you get the idea. But it is crunchy. And while I do love the texture of the fresh durian, which is kind of like pudding, so it's like really soft, like eating pudding, I really love the crunchiness of the freeze-dried. But yeah, this stuff's sweeter, not quite as delicate, but you get the flavor and you understand what durian could taste like. And once again, this is available basically anywhere in the United States, or you could order from matt-monarch.com. For fun, I'm going to go ahead and try the freeze-dried mango on the camera for you guys, because if you can't get the freeze-dried durian, mango is my next go-to high-calorie freeze-dried fruit, because it is available at Trader Joe's. And this one, after having the durian, this one is even more sickly sweet. So I've actually made raw food pies using just freeze-dried mango, fresh mango, and flax seeds as a crust. And that's one amazing recipe using very few ingredients. But yeah, I love using the dried fruits and freeze-dried fruits as a sweetener instead of something like coconut sugar or palm nectar and all these things that are more highly processed. I mean, seriously guys, this is just fruit. And this is the best way to eat fruit that has been preserved without the water content in its freeze-dried form. The big negative, of course, is the price. Alright, last we're going to go ahead and try the freeze-dried organic berries. None of the other two were organic, but you know, I try to eat mostly all organic, although there are some exceptions such as freeze-dried durian, fresh durian, jackfruit, and even the mangoes. I do want to mention that actually this year, for the first time, 2021, I'm seeing more irradiated mangoes in grocery stores than I ever have before from Mexico, so watch for that Radura symbol. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and try the strawberries. Freeze-dried strawberries out of that multi-pack. It's freeze-dried raspberries, strawberries, and blueberries. I mean, these are just strawberries like intensified. For freeze-dried strawberries, I mean, the taste is good. I have definitely tasted better freeze-dried strawberries, for sure. But yeah, these are for those of you guys that are on like low sugar diets and want higher nutrients. This is what you guys should get. The berries rule out over mangoes and durian for phytochemicals and phytonutrients, okay? Next, let's go ahead and try an organic freeze-dried blueberry. I've bought many freeze-dried blueberries in my day. Actually, I like the freeze-dried blueberries a lot more than the freeze-dried strawberries. And finally, we're going to show you guys the freeze-dried raspberries. These guys look like they've been really shrunk and freeze-dried because they're like significantly smaller than they should be. And they're not sweet at all. They're crunchy and pretty dry, but not that sweet. So I'd have to rate the blueberries. I like the most, strawberries, and then the raspberries. Of course, if you mixed all three of these together and then poured some coconut milk fresh made in there, you'd have one amazing raw food cereal, which I did show, I don't even know how many years ago now. Put a link down below that video. Oh yeah, so if you guys want to order the freeze-dried durian, I don't get any money. I'm just referring you to Matt because, number one, I appreciate that Matt is importing these. He didn't have them for a while, so I hope this is a stock item that he will regularly carry because he will see, wow, there's a demand for this, and unless you're some kind of connoisseur guy like me and know about these things, you might just never buy them. But hopefully after this video, you guys are going to see like, whoa, I got to get that freeze-dried durian. It's a good food for storage in case World War III happens. I'm a raw foodist and I can't get fresh stuff. I got the dried stuff because it's going to last at least 10 years for you if packed properly, maybe even probably 15. Or for camping and packing, or for just for a fun treat for friends or you know, girlfriend, boyfriends, husband or wives, you know, birthday or gift or whatever. This stuff is amazing and I want you guys to try it. Make sure you use the coupon code OKRAW, letter O, letter K, RAW for a 7% discount. Although I did arrange a discount for you guys, I'm not getting any kickbacks from Matt for this. But hopefully he'll be like, wow, John sent me a lot of business. I'm going to send him a couple free bags of the freeze-dried durian. But even if he didn't give me any money, I would still be making this video anyways because I want you guys to be aware about more healthy options. Honestly, if you guys are still eating candy bars and junk food, man, this is my candy bar right here. Freeze-dried fruits are my candy bars. They're the healthiest sweet treats that you guys could possibly eat on a raw foods diet, aside from the fresh stuff that can be quite pricey and may not travel well and may not always be available for you. Once again, I want to encourage you guys to eat a wide variety of foods. Don't just limit yourself to bananas and dates and romaine lettuce, right? I want you guys to eat all kinds of different foods. Mangoes, durian, berries. You know, I got persimmons right now this time of year. I got some, you know, organic yellow kiwis. I got apples. I got all kinds. I got Dancy tangerines, I got Satsuma tangerines, I ate some honey tangerines, all kinds of stuff, man. I really want you guys to expand your diet. And don't forget, as much as I love my fruits, I also love my vegetables, and my meal after this is my big salad, my big taco salad made with greens out of my garden, including romaine. Check my IG at Growing Your Greens for a picture of the salad that I just made and I'll be eating for the next 4 days. So that's pretty much it for this episode. If you guys enjoyed this episode, hey, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Also, please be sure to share this with other people so that they can be aware of the best freeze-dried fruit that you can buy right now until they're sold out. I don't think Matt has many left. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button so you are subscribed to my channel and you are made aware of my new videos that are coming out about every 5 to 7 days. You never know where I'll show up or what you'll be learning about how to better your health, better your diet by eating more fresh fruits and vegetables. Also, make sure to click the notification bell so you get notified as many videos come out. And finally, be sure to check my past episodes. The past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 500 episodes at this time on this YouTube channel dedicated to teach you guys all about how to eat the best and healthiest fruit and vegetable dominated diet on the entire planet. So with that, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time. And until then, remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables and some freeze-dried durian sometimes. They're always the best.